Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my new channel. This is fantastic. I am loving the comments. I'm loving that people can read through those comments and see how other people are going on the journey. So thank you. Now, what are we doing in this video? I'm going to talk about a few things that have come up. Firstly, we're going to look at my journey on week 4. We're going back in time 12 months, and we're then going to talk about current day, which is week 55 for me. So let's have a look at week 4 of my journey. Hi, welcome back. Well, today is day 28, and there's been a few changes this week, so let's get into it and see what's been happening. So what's happened this week? Sorry, my eyes are just in that thinking mode. So I've lost some more weight. I've lost a total of 11.2 kilos now, which is 24.7 pound. It's coming off pretty quick, but again, not the focus. I really, really want relief from this arthritis, and I have been getting that very, very slowly. It's super slow, but I can notice that there is a definite difference. My feet, they're still swollen. I would say in the 28 days, they're probably half the size they were, but they're still swollen. They're not giving me as much pain as they were. But they still are painful, and I'm still limping when I walk. What else has been happening? Out of the blue, on my left foot, I started getting a lot of pain right in the middle of the foot, and I thought, oh no, don't tell me this is plantar fasciitis, because I did have that probably 10 years ago in my right foot, and I had it for about a year. Well, the pain was there for about 24 hours, and thankfully it's gone. What else have I noticed that has been happening? My incontinence problems, my bladder problems, almost 100% fixed. I'm amazed. My bladder seems to be working properly now. It seems to be holding a certain amount. It doesn't decide to empty when it wants. I've got control of things, and it's just amazing me. Sleeping, I'm still sleeping in spurts, a bit here, a bit there. Though I found that I'm not tired. I can't say I've got a lot of energy and that I feel like doing a lot of stuff. But I just, normally I'll say, I'm normally tired all the time prior to this. Any moment that I had an opportunity to go for a sleep, I'm there. You didn't have to ask me twice. But now it's like, no, I don't want to go to sleep, but I still feel a little lethargic and don't have as much energy and don't really feel motivated to do a lot of stuff. But definitely not tired to go for a sleep. So normally around 9 o'clock, even 8:30, I head to bed. Sometimes even 7 o'clock. I live on my own. When I've done everything for the day and there's nothing else to do, I don't want to sit up watching TV for nothing. But lately, I've been still awake at 12 o'clock. The other day, I thought, if I go to bed, I'm not going to go to sleep. So I sat up till 2 o'clock. I was just crocheting, and I had YouTube on in the background. I'm hoping that my energy will improve. So being awake for longer and having energy, I'll be able to accomplish more. But I'm not really able to do that at the moment. What else has been happening? The pains in the shoulder, my right shoulder, is pretty good. Even to touch it, it's still sore. I still have some dull pain there, which is constant, but it's not giving me a lot of problems. Whereas before I couldn't even move my arm, as I was saying on a previous video. I couldn't brush my hair or clean my teeth, but now I've got a good range of movement. It is a little sore, it's the arthritis, but much better than it was. So that's a really, really good thing. I can feel a slight improvement in the arthritis. I will have to say that I haven't used my walking stick once since I started this. So I didn't use my walking stick all the time, but when my feet were really bad and I had to get out of bed to go to the toilet, I'd been asleep, I'd been still for a while, I'd be really stiff to get up and move. And I couldn't do it without a walking stick. Well, I haven't used a walking stick once. I seem to have more strength in my legs. I know that's a funny thing because I haven't trained. But maybe it's less weight for my legs to carry, so of course they'd feel stronger. What else has happened? So food this week. What did I eat? Sorry, I've got to refer to my notes here. So let's just go through quickly. So last Sunday I did my roasted lamb shanks. Normally they're pretty big. Normally I only eat one, but I overcooked them. They shrank down a lot. I ate two because I knew that one wouldn't have filled me. Really, they weren't that appetizing because I overcooked them. They were dry. So the previous week they were really nice. So that's what I had. On Monday I had just one pork loin chop. On Tuesday I had two pork loin chops. They were only very small, those ones. I went out to eat on Wednesday and I ordered a pork knuckle. So that was huge. I had probably about a third of it. That's all I could eat. I brought it home with me, and I had a third the next day. And I also had, that day was the only day that I had 2 meals. And sorry for looking down. My second meal, I was feeling a little hungry. So because I had eaten early in the day. I'd eaten at 10 o'clock, whereas normally I eat at 12 or 2 o'clock. So I had some beef patties, but the last time I had beef patties, they were really dry. And I thought, what can I do? I really wanted some tomato sauce on them, but no, I wasn't going there. So I had some melted cheese. I just popped them in the microwave to warm them through and put some very thin slices of hard cheese on them and melted that on top. Now that's the first time I've had cheese since I've started this. They tasted nice and I would do that again, except I got really bad pain on the right hand side. I don't know what's there on my right hand side, but I had tremendous pain. Probably, when did I eat? About 6 o'clock, and I was getting the pain around 10 o'clock. Around 9, maybe 9 even, 9:30, and it went for quite some time. Again, I was sitting and crocheting, so I got up and I made myself do some things and walk around and put away some washing and things like that, just to keep moving, to try to relieve the pain. Sitting there wasn't helping at all. In the end, I decided I'm going to go to bed because I've just got to lie down and sort of bring my knees up and see if that will relieve it. It did to some extent, but I was so nauseous. I had to have a bucket beside my bed because I didn't think that I would make it to the bathroom if I really felt nauseous. So that was, I would have to say that was the cheese. But I'll only know if I do it again. And I don't want to put myself through that pain again, but I do want to know if the cheese is causing me an issue. So that was what I had on Thursday. And Friday, yesterday, I had 2 lamb grillers, and that was it. Now, what I've been doing, I've been eating around 12 o'clock, sometimes 2 o'clock, as I mentioned earlier, and sometimes I go a little bit longer. If I'm going out somewhere, I'll eat when I come home, maybe even 3. I find that I'm so full, I do not want another meal. So I'm only eating very, very small amounts of food, but it fills me up, and I'm not hungry. I do find that I just start to feel a little bit hungry, like I could eat something, but it's 12 hours later, 10 to 12 hours later. So when I'm eating at 12, if I'm still awake at midnight, that's when I start to feel hungry, and I go, there's no way I'm eating at 12 o'clock because I want to go to sleep. So I just say, well, just go to bed and sleep. You'll be right. It doesn't matter if you feel hungry in your sleep. And it's not an issue. It's not waking me up. I'm not ravenously hungry. It's just I can feel a little bit hungry. So when I get up, I get busy, I do stuff in the morning, and I really don't have time to stop. So waiting till 12 is fine. So it means that most days I'm fasting for 24 hours, sometimes 26, sometimes 22, 23. The smallest fast I had was... where are we? It was 18 hours. So there you go. So I am doing intermittent fasting as well, but not because I'm forcing myself to do that, because I'm listening to my body and responding. So, you know, when it's hungry, I'll eat. Also, I don't like to eat when I've got people here, so my daughter often pops in, or I've got the kids or something like that, so I schedule my eating around that. I haven't told any of my family that I'm on this. I just don't want the negativity. I want them to see the results and then say, wow, what have you been doing? And to see that I'm pain-free, or relatively pain-free. So, you know, then if there's any negativity, I can easily counteract that with, well, how can it be bad if I don't need any of the meds anymore? If I'm pain-free, if I'm sleeping well. So with my sleeping, I'm probably sleeping, sometimes I'll get 4 hours, then I'll wake up, I might be awake for half an hour, I'll go and have another 2 hours, I'll wake up, might be awake for half an hour, you know. So it's all broken sleep, but those episodes of sleep are restful. It's like I go to sleep, I'm having pleasant dreams. I'm not having nightmares at the moment. And when I wake up, it's like, oh, I slept for 4 hours. I can't believe that. Whereas normally, in a 4-hour period, I'd be tossing and turning, and I'd be just glancing at the clock thinking, oh, it's only 20 minutes. Oh, it's only 10 minutes since I last looked at the clock. I'd wake up because my feet hurt, my legs hurt, my shoulders hurt, whatever it was. Get comfortable, turn over again, all night long. I was just tossing and turning nonstop. There never was a comfortable spot, but, you know, in my half sleep state, my mind just kept telling me, if you're in pain, move and get a comfortable position, but I never found one. So now I'm not doing that, so that's great. What else do I have to say? Nothing else. Yeah, I'm finding just sticking to the beef and lamb a little bit boring for me. If I want to remain on this long term, I know that I'm going to have a little bit more variety. That's why I'm having the pork chops. I do enjoy them. There's a lot of fat on them. I know the other things I'm eating doesn't have much fat. So that's another reason for having the pork chop. And I do look forward to having a pork chop. So that's where we're at with that. But I am not introducing anything else. I'm not introducing eggs, bacon, chicken, or any of those sorts of things, because I want to get pain-free. I don't want anything to be interfering in this journey to be pain-free. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So the weight loss has been good. Sometimes, like, I got on the scales 3 days in a row, I hadn't lost anything, but I'm not worried about that, because just trust the process. And I know that probably next time I get on the scales, which is what happened, I'll lose 1 kilo. So it doesn't matter if it's every day or not. But I like to check it every day. I know that they say not to, but I like to check it every day, because especially like when I had the cheese, I was like, let's see if if that made me gain weight, as in retain fluid or anything like that. I want to monitor those sorts of things, because if I'm retaining fluid, that's going to add to my pain, and then that means it's a no-no for me. So no, that didn't happen. But anyway, we'll keep plugging along, monitoring things, and I'll check in with you again next week. So thanks for joining me. Hope you're enjoying the videos. If you are, Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because that way you'll always be notified when a new video comes up. So I hope if you're going on this journey, or if you're contemplating it, that you're finding this helpful. And if you are on this journey, I wish you every success. So just keep plugging along and you'll get there. And if you do have anything that you're not supposed to and you have a lapse, don't beat yourself up about it. Get straight back onto it and say, well, yep, okay, that was yesterday. Today's a new day, and just keep going. Catch you on the next one. Bye for now. So what's happening now in week 55? I have stalled. I have not lost weight for about 2 months. And I've looked at all the reasons why. And anyway, I have always kept a diary of what food I eat. And I looked back at that and I said, you know what? I need to go back to intermittent fasting, which I've been doing this week. And it's working. Now, it's funny, I don't know if anyone else experiences this, but I notice that my body is changing size before I see anything on the scales. And I know that I am losing weight. Well, I have actually lost a bit of weight, but the amount of size I've lost has been very interesting because, yeah, my clothes have become a lot looser. My belt is now the last notch, and it's not a belt that I can put another hole in, and even if I could, there's too much hanging off the other side now. So I need to get myself new belts. Yes, I need belts on my jeans to hold them up now because just of my funny shape. I have not lost so much in the waist, but I'm losing it all on the hips. So yeah, they're sliding down if I don't wear a belt. So that's what's happening this week. An interesting thing that happened, I have to say it's a minor car accident, but to me, it was a big car accident. I was traveling on the motorway. I was doing 100 kilometres an hour and someone rammed me from behind very hard. I hate to think what speed they were going at. As it turned out, they were an unaccompanied learner driver. So I got very bad whiplash from that. Not straight away. Through the day, it happened that I started getting very bad headaches and my neck was hurting a lot. So I took myself off to hospital. And thankfully everything was okay. They did all the scans to check that I didn't have a fracture in the neck area, and they also checked my brain. But what happened the next day was that I did get a big swelling at the back of my head. It's still very sore to touch. So we're now Wednesday, and this happened on Saturday, so 5 days ago. I got a big swelling and I thought, well, how could that be? Because my headrest on the car, which I probably hit, is soft, it's padded. But I think it was more the going forward and the snapping back of my head. So it's more an injury inside rather than something that has impacted from the outside. But yes, very sore to touch and still very swollen. So it slowed me down a little bit this week. Monday was just Sunday and Monday were just rest days because I had trouble standing or sitting because my neck was hurting so much. I just needed to lie on my side just to rest my neck. But it's a lot better now, so no concerns there. I'm on the mend and I'll probably be fully mended, give it a week or two. Now, that's probably it for what's been happening this week. I also went away from having my pork roasts, which have a lot of fat, and I've been back to mainly steak and eggs. One other thing I wanted to say, which is very interesting about, I went back to intermittent fasting. So I'm eating one meal a day, and I'm usually having that around, it depends. If I have my granddaughter, I'll eat with her at lunchtime, but generally around, it's getting a bit later, 3, 4 o'clock. I was aiming for about 2, but if I'm not hungry or if I'm busy, sometimes at night I'm feeling hungry and I have to keep myself busy. So I'll be crocheting or sewing or doing something to keep myself busy because I'm feeling hungry, usually about 6 hours after I have my meal, 6 to 8 hours. But then I get up the next day. So if I've eaten at, say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll get up the next day about 6:30 in the morning. I'm not hungry at all. And I wait. I usually start to feel hungry around about 12, 1 o'clock. But if I keep myself busy, I can wait until 3 or 4 o'clock. So I gave up the pork roast, which means that my fat has reduced. Now I can see that, or hold on, when I say see, I can experience that by my bowel movements. So I was getting a lot of loose bowel movements and you would say on some days diarrhea. But now it's gone back to a normal, not constipated at all. A steak and eggs, or if I'm out, I take some chicken. And when I was at hospital, of course, they were doing tests and scans and lots of things. So there was no eating there. I didn't get home from hospital until 11:30 at night. So it had been around 30 hours since I'd eaten. But with the intermittent fasting, I was fine. The longer you go, the easier it gets, the less hungry you feel. So I was fine. I kept the water up. I had my steroid tablet and I had some electrolytes. That was it. So that's a real advantage. When you can't eat and you're intermittent fasting, you can go for quite a long time before you really have to eat. So that was a real advantage for me. So what did I want to talk about today? Things that you may experience anywhere through your carnivore journey. And that is what other people have to say to you about it. Now, if you go back and look at the very first video I did say that I was not putting this out there because I know friends and family watched my YouTube and I didn't want them coming across what type of diet, way of eating I was doing right at the beginning. Because, hey, everyone's an expert, aren't they? Even people who have such serious health conditions and are doing nothing diet-wise to address it. There are so many people who are just going to the doctors and getting pill after pill after pill to treat this, that, and the other medical conditions that they have and thinking, oh, this just happens as you grow older. And they do nothing as far as lifestyle or diet to address it. But aren't they the experts who want to tell you what you should be doing? And I didn't want any of that. But when I'd lost 20 kilos, yeah, it was noticeable. And family were then watching what was I doing and asking me. Now, when I mentioned that I'd gone carnivore, the backlash. I have 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. Yes, the daughters were quiet, the son wasn't, but that's just his personality. And I know he loves me and it was out of concern. I know he was very concerned for me. And so it came from a good place, but really I didn't want to hear it. That's why I kept it quiet for so long. And for everyone else, I just did not tell anyone. People would say, oh, you're looking good. You've lost a bit of weight. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm busy at the gym and just watching what I'm eating. When I got to 40 kilos, people were coming up and saying, I'd love to know what you're doing because I need to lose weight. And I was very careful, and I would just say I'm on an elimination diet for my rheumatoid arthritis. It's helping with my rheumatoid arthritis, and the weight loss is secondary. It's not the main reason I'm on this way of eating. please tell me more, please tell me more. And I would direct them to various YouTube channels or YouTubers so that go and look it up yourself. Get the information, because, and I would basically say to them, it's eliminating all plant-based and just eating animal-based. And I'd try and keep it quite simple. Now, I go to a group where there's a lot of people there, and someone overheard it. And she said, oh, that's ridiculous. And this is the sort of backlash you'll get. And then every time she saw me, it was, oh, like, you don't need to lose any more weight. Yes, I do. When I'm 100 kilos, that I still need to lose a lot of weight. Now, 100 kilos is way over 200, I think it's about 220 pounds for those in the alternate measurements. I could be wrong there, but it'll be around that. Of course I need to lose weight, but again, it wasn't the weight loss that I was going for. It was the elimination or the remission from rheumatoid arthritis. But I have had people say terrible things to me. Ask me if I have cancer, and when I've said no, what, you did this to yourself. You look like you're a cancer sufferer. You look terrible. You should stop doing what you're doing. I've had people ask me, oh, you're on Ozempic, aren't you? And you should stop it because you're looking really bad. And I really don't want to get into it. I don't have the headspace to think, where's this coming from? Why would they be saying that? Like, that's their issue, not mine. So I just know, shut them down pretty quickly. And I'll often say, well, if you're concerned, thank you, but you don't need to be. I do me, you do you. Let's just leave it at that. And I might not be the most polite way, but some people, they just won't stop. And you need to be very direct. So if anybody's experiencing that, I'm very sorry, because it can be disheartening when people say very, very, very cruel things to you. Like, imagine telling me that I look like a cancer survivor and that I looked like I was really sick and on death's door. Do I look like I'm on death's door? I would go home and look in the mirror and go, I'm very happy with the way I look. I would put on my clothes and say, I'm very happy with the way these fit. I know I'm not at goal, but I can do so much. I'm so much better, and the rheumatoid arthritis is so much better. I don't care what people say. I just say, like, that's your issue. And if you want to be rude like that, you're just a person that I need to avoid in future. Some of the people I can't avoid, because I go to social groups and things like that, and they're part of the social group. But when it comes to mixing and mingling, I'll be standing on the other side of the room or away from them, and really not having much to do with them. But it amazes me how people want to tell you what you should be doing, and you look at them and you think, like, they are really unhealthy, they are overweight. Even if they're not overweight, they have an unhealthy lifestyle, they might be a smoker or a drinker, and you think, like, who are you to be dishing out advice? Sometimes I think it comes from a place of guilt. Like, if everybody's like them, then they feel okay about being like that. But if other people are getting healthy and doing something about it and they know they should, they feel guilty. So they lash out and tell you shouldn't be doing it. I don't know. I've wasted too much headspace on it already. But if you want to be telling friends and family, go ahead. But I would never go, personally, I would never go into a great lot of detail for someone who is not asking because they're interested. And I don't work anymore, so I'm not in a work environment. I know when I was doing keto and in doing intermittent fasting with keto that I would have a lot of comments. And I found that quite difficult. Oh, there you are, you're eating your salad and your tuna again. That's all you eat a day, isn't it? That's no good. You're going to get sick. Well, I used to be one of the most healthy people there, besides rheumatoid arthritis, and everyone else was coming down with colds and coughs and you name it. But yeah, in a work environment, it's very difficult because people are always watching, especially when they have the birthday cakes. Oh man, they seem to come around like once a week in our place. We're in a big place. And they'd buy 2 or 3 cakes, especially like they'd save it all up for a Friday, and then they'd say, right, we've had 3 birthdays this week, there'd be 3 cakes, or there'd be big trays of donuts, and they'd walk around giving them out, and I'd always say no. And they'd be insisting, look, there's plenty, we need to get rid of it. Do you want to take some home? No, I live alone, I don't eat cake. Oh, why don't you eat cake? I'd say, I'm gluten-free, which I was. Rheumatoid arthritis helps to be gluten-free. Well, what did they do? They started buying gluten-free options and saying, we got this for you because you're gluten-free. And I said, oh, there's others who are gluten-free. Share it with them. Oh, but we got it for you. You have to have it. Like, I don't know why people can't accept that you can't join in. But people do, and then they start saying things. So I would just sort of keep it tucked back and not put it out there that you're doing carnivore again, unless somebody said, well, they will approach you and they'll say, you've lost a lot of weight and I'm very interested how you're doing it because I need to lose weight. Would you share with me what you're doing? If it's in a kind and caring way that they express it, again, I would still keep it minimal. I would just say, look, I'm doing something called carnivore. There's a lot of YouTubers out there. Do a bit of investigation. Look at it for yourself. It may be for you or it may not. And I'm here if you want to come and ask me questions, and leave it at that. But people who want to ridicule you, which there are a lot, just shut them down. Just shut them down. Just tell them, okay, you do you, I'll do me. Let's leave it at that. Anyway, that is all I have to say about that subject. I think I've gone on long enough. And for those who haven't joined Carnivore yet, as I say, look at other YouTube channels, do your investigation. But for me, I had nothing to lose except weight and rheumatoid arthritis. And if it didn't work, if it wasn't for me, well, so be it. But it turned out it was the best thing in my life. I would say that I feel like I am back in my 30s, meaning that was a period of my life where I was in such a good place. I had my health, I had my home, I had started a business, I was doing such great things. I loved life. I would go to bed at night, sleep all night, wake up refreshed, ready to go in the morning. These last few years have been horrific. 12 years I've had the rheumatoid arthritis, but I'm back now to how I was previously. All those things, got my own business, sleeping well at night, lots of energy, raring to go. I'm light on my feet, taking up new hobbies. Hopefully I'm getting back into roller skating once this head whiplash clears up. Yeah, and I used to do that as a teenager and I loved it. So nothing but good things. But yeah, I feel like I'm a 30-year-old again. And for those that don't know, I am 64 and a half. Wow, how did I get here? Who'd have ever thought that I'd get to 64 and a half? I'm one of the lucky ones. Yeah, lost many people who didn't make it this far. But I've got so many years ahead of me to enjoy life now that I've found Carnivore. So if you're thinking about it, I hope you start. And good luck to those who are on the journey and hope it's going well. If people have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I do answer all my comments. Maybe not straight away. It might take me a week or two because I'm getting a lot. And as I said, I'm running a business. I'm really busy. I will get to your comments and I will answer them. So please. And the other thing is that other people see your comments and they will learn as well. It might be a question they wanted to ask but didn't. So everybody's learning on this journey. So let's help them along if you've got some questions. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Bye, and I'll see you next week.